Yo, what's up, YouTube? Back with another today. We're going to be talking about the Week 1 matchup between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills. So I'm very excited to make this video. Favorite team, Steelers. I'm not going to be biased though, and you might see that later in the video, but I'm very excited for this season to start, and I honestly just can't wait for Sunday. You know, there's a game on Thursday night, Cowboys Buccaneers, but you already know the Cowboys about to get clapped. But Sunday, it's got all the games except for that and Monday Night Football, and we got Steelers Bills. So the Steelers are going to be playing on the road at the Buffalo Bills at 1 o'clock on Sunday. This is one of the better matchups of the week. Two really good teams. Last year, the Steelers went 12-4, and the Buffalo Bills went 13-3. And these two teams have played each other for the last 2 years in a row. In 2019, they played each other in Pittsburgh, and the Bills won that when Mason Rudolph was playing, or Doug Hodges, one of those two. And last year, they played in Buffalo, and that was the game where Big Ben threw a pick six with like 10 seconds left in the half. Man, I was mad. But, Steelers lost that. Bills won that game. Bills are basically owning this matchup. Are the Steelers going to get their first win against the Bills in, 5 years? Let's see. Let's talk about it. So I watched a really good video about this matchup earlier. And one thing it mentioned was the Bills' defensive line and how it's not the best in the league. Their secondary, it's good, but their defensive line's not the best. And then we look at Pittsburgh's offensive line, and, it's brand new. We all know that basically their entire O-line is gone from last year except for one player. Now one player switched positions. So we got an entirely new offensive line. We got a new running back. But literally everything else for the Steelers is the same on offense, of course. The Buffalo Bills, all their players have come back from their defense. Their secondary is pretty good. It's got some superstars on that. But like I said, I think they were ranked 23rd in the league for, rush defense, which isn't really good. Which is why I want to talk about this first. Because we all know the Steelers can't run the ball. They couldn't run the ball last year. But they got a new offensive coordinator, Matt Canada, and they drafted Najee Harris. So week 1, you don't expect the Steelers to be running the ball 200 yards per Najee Harris. You don't expect that to happen. But could it happen? And that's a maybe. We'll see. I think it's a perfect opportunity to test their new offensive coordinator, their new offensive line, Najee Harris, on a pretty poor Bills defensive line. Bills defense, like I said, their secondary is still really good, but their defensive line isn't. So honestly, that could be a key factor in the Steelers' offense. They might be able to run the ball, and they could score, around 30 points because of that. Because we all know their offense is pretty well established everywhere else. Big Ben's pretty good. Their receivers are extremely good. The Juju, Deontay, James Washington, Eric Ebron, Pat Freiermuth, Claypool, the receivers. He can throw to any one of those players and get a first down whenever he wants. That's how good this, receiving depth is. So, like I said, Bills secondary really good. So, I think the Steelers need to run the ball this game. They need Najee Harris to have a good game, even though it's week 1. Even though he's never played in the league before, we need it to happen, or Steelers aren't winning this game. That's basically the key factor in this one. But we aren't talking about the other sides of the ball, Bills offense versus Steelers defense. So, Bills offense, when they play each other, they didn't score that many points compared to what they usually score. It was around 20, but still, the Bills offense was extremely good last year. It was insane. And they didn't really play well against the Steelers defense, mostly because the Steelers defense is insane. I think the Bills scored 26 points last year, and 6 of those points was a pick six. So, their offense not particularly playing well against this defense. I expect it to happen again. Devin Bush is back from injury. The Bills' rushing offense is kind of bad. So, Their defense, Steelers' defensive line is really good, one of the best in the league. They weren't particularly the best in the league at stopping the run, but the Bills aren't really good at running the ball. TJ Watt's insane. We might see an interception or two from the defense, but the one thing the Steelers' defense lost, which could be a key factor in this game, is Steven Nelson. Steven Nelson was pretty good, but he just left because, he didn't want to be a Steeler, didn't want to compete for his job. And that corner job is Cam Sutton or James Pierre. Now, why this is so important is, fill in the blank. Bills' offense is insane. Josh Allen is insane. And what's the number one threat besides Josh Allen? Stephon Diggs. So, their wide receivers are decent, but Stephon Diggs is he's on another level. Like, he's one of the best in the league. I'd say he's the third best receiver in the NFL behind Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams. And one thing that basically scares all Steelers fans is how are the corners going to play against Stephon Diggs? I think Minka, Joe Hayden are going to play good, but, Steven Nelson's gone. Is Cam Sutton going to perform well? If they target him with Stephon Diggs, is that an automatic first down? Maybe, maybe not. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills scored a lot of points, or they got a lot of yards because of Cam Sutton starting at corner. This could be the only weak spot in the defense, and literally the number one thing the Bills did last year was throw the ball to Diggs. So that could be one of the key matchups on that side of the football. So this is really a battle between the Steelers and themselves. The Bills are winning this game unless the Steelers play perfectly. There's no other way to put it. The only way the Steelers are winning this game, the first thing I said, they need to run the ball. They need Najee Harris to have a good game. And number two, they need to stop Stephon Diggs. And if that doesn't happen, the Bills are easily going to win this one. And for two things to happen that probably are unstatistically going to happen, we got to give the game to the Bills. I think the Steelers defense plays pretty good, but the Bills offense is too much. And I think Big Ben could have a big game, like no joke. Steelers could upset easily, but two things need to happen. Run the ball, which is, offensive line's brand new, literally a rookie running back. Is it going to happen? Probably not. And defense plays perfectly against Diggs. I think that could happen. That's probably more likely to happen than the Steelers having a good rushing offense. But with Matt Canada, we're just going to have to see what happens. But at the end of the day, the Bills are easily favored to win this one. It is one of the biggest favored matchups of the week just because the Bills are insane. Like, no shot. The Steelers win, right? Or do they? So like I mentioned in the first minute of the video, I watched another video before this. I just saw it on the NFL app. And here are expert picks from, the experts with quotations around that. Again, for this game. Adam ranked 25-19. He's a jokester. But everybody else, they're all jokesters, but literally no one's got the Steelers winning. Everyone's got the Bills winning. But if you look at some of these scores, they're really close, and then the other ones are like double margin. But 4 to 5 point games, an overtime win for the Bills, anything could happen. No one wants to pick the Steelers, but they know it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a close game. But ultimately, at the end of the game, I think the Bills win. Wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers upset. But unfortunately, we got the Bills winning week 1. Steelers starting 0-1. It is what it is. Congrats, Bills fans. You just won a tiebreaker in the playoffs if necessary. So comment down your predictions below. It's hard to have the Bills win this one because, like I said, I'm a Steelers fan. It's hard to even make this video, but got to do it for the content. Thanks for watching. Adios.